Pre-season testing for the 2021 Formula One season starts tomorrow, and I wanted to put my predictions in place before testing starts because I don't want to be influenced by testing like a couple of years ago when Williams just didn't turn up for the first 2 days, or last year when we found out that Ferrari's engine was. So, as of right now, we don't know what's going to happen in testing tomorrow. We don't know how the season is going to start and how it's going to play out. So, which is why I'm going to make my predictions right now. Shall we begin? Let's do our predictions teams first, the Constructors' Championship. So, starting from the worst team in 10th place, building up to the best team in first place. And then we'll come to the drivers, starting from the worst driver in P20, building up to the world champion in P1. So, the team I'm picking to be in last place this season is Haas Formula One team. I don't know if it's going to be a surprise to many people. Potentially the slowest car on the grid, coupled with the fact that they've got two rookie drivers in Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. No fault on the drivers, it's their first season in Formula One, can't expect much from them. Combined with the fact that the car is going to be pretty slow, I think it's safe to say that Haas are going to be bottom of this list. In ninth place, I am picking Alfa Romeo Formula One team. I am predicting that their car is going to be better than their car last year. Now, I know that I'm saying that considering the fact that last year they finished 8th, and I'm picking them to finish 9th this year, and I'm saying that their car is going to be better. It's just the fact that I predict that this lower end of the Formula One grid, the teams are going to be much more competitive this year. Which of course means that in P8, I'm picking Williams. I do believe that their car is on an upward trajectory, getting better with time, which will mean that Russell will have a few more opportunities at points. He's going to finish 2 to 3 or maybe 4 5 times P10, a couple of P8s, P7s maybe, if he gets lucky. And Latifi isn't a bad driver himself, and I just feel like when you consider Alfa Romeo versus Williams, the cars are going to be pretty similarly matched, but just the fact that these guys, the Williams guys, are more capable of getting that odd point better than Giovinazzi and Raikkonen will mean that Williams will be P8 and Alfa will be P9. Now the battle for P7 and P6 will be between Alpha Tauri and Alpine. I'm going to put Alpha Tauri at 7 and Alpine at 6. Reason being, I don't expect that Renault hype and the Renault momentum to continue with Alpine this year, partly due to losing Ricciardo as well. And also I don't expect Alonso to be that great this year. I don't know why, just that feeling that Alonso is going to flop this year. And Ocon is going to be okay, have a decent season. On the other hand, Alpha Tauri, Gasly is going to outperform that car by a mile. Is going to be really good this year. It's going to be top 10. But Tsunoda, it's his rookie year. He's going to have his limitations, so you can't really expect much. And generally, I believe that the Alpine car is going to be just that bit better than Alpha Tauri. So Alpha Tauri 7, Alpine 6. Now again, the battle for P5 and P4 is going to be super close. It's going to be between Aston Martin and Ferrari. I'm going to put Aston Martin in P5, Ferrari in 4. And the situation is going to be again very similar to what we discussed earlier with Williams and Alfa Romeo. It's just who's going to come in clutch, who's going to get that 1 point where a point was not on the cards. Consider a race where Stroll for Aston Martin just finishes 11th and Leclerc does something to get 9th or 8th. These things are going to count. Very similar car is what I predict, but just that Leclerc being a bit more clutch and Sainz being okay, but still there, just with Leclerc, and Stroll being okay. Vettel gonna have an okay season, better than what he did last year, but still pretty meh this year. It is why I'm gonna say Aston Martin P5, Ferrari P4. Now then, we are into the top 3, and in P3, I'm gonna pick, it's an easy pick, it's McLaren. If Ricciardo and Norris perform the way they're supposed to and perform up to that car's potential, this team is going to be P3. They're not going to, I don't believe they're going to challenge for P2 or P1, but it's going to be that sort of situation a few years ago when Mercedes and Ferrari were the top 2 teams and Red Bull were in this sort of third place limbo. If McLaren can get it right, they can solidify themselves in that third place limbo, which is a big deal, by the way, considering where they were only 4 to 5 years ago with all this GP2 engine, very slow and much slower than before, amazing, all these comments. Coming to now, if 2021 season, they can solidify themselves as the third best team, no contest, no interference, no fighting Ferrari and Aston Martin. That's going to be a very successful year for McLaren if they can do that.
GP2 engine. GP2. The engine was good, much slower than before. Amazing.
Now then, the top two, and in P2, of course, is going to be Red Bull Racing, and how much they're going to challenge Mercedes for the title is all going to depend on how quickly Sergio Perez settles in and starts delivering. Maybe they've accepted the fact that this is going to be a settling in year for him, and they're going to be content with P2 in the constructors, which is still a good, very good place. But if Checo, with all his experience, can start pushing out P4s and P3s on a consistent basis, there's a chance. I don't think they're going to do it at all. Verstappen's going to be very, very close this year. Maybe the closest is ever going to be, have been so far. I'm not saying ever going to be. But it all depends on Checo. So if Checo can come through and help, it's going to be close. Otherwise, it's going to be not. Which, of course, means that Mercedes are going to win again. What do you want me to say? Mercedes will win. Lewis Hamilton is there. Bottas will help. Bottas may not help. If Checo can't do it, Mercedes will be world champions again. Now then, let's talk about the drivers. I feel like I've given you some sort of idea of where I'm going with the drivers. But anyway, in P20, Nikita Mazepin, P19, Mick Schumacher. The rookies in the slowest car, of course, that's what they're going to do, especially considering that Schumacher is a slow starter in whatever he's done so far. I hope he gets given a chance to be a slow starter, but still, I think he's going to be better, more consistent than Mazepin, but still, P19 is where he's going to be, and P20 is Nikita Mazepin. In P18, it hurts me to say this, but I'm going to pick Kimi Raikkonen. In P18, I think this is going to be his last season in Formula 1. That hurts a lot to say, but I just feel like he's going to drop the ball this year and finally be beaten by Latifi and his teammate Giovinazzi as well. And I feel like he'll have had enough with that, and the team will say, okay, let's look at the rookies now. Thank you, Kimi. Which leaves us with this backmarker battle, P17, 16, 15. I'm going to put Nicholas Latifi in 17th, Antonio Giovinazzi 16, and George Russell 15. It's going to be Williams having that better season with Russell picking up the bulk of the points. Latifi, okay season. I mean, he's going to beat Kimi and the Haas guys, which is, I mean, that's good. Giovinazzi will just have his best season to date, I think, which will mean I don't think he's going to be that close to Russell, but he's going to beat everyone else quite significantly. So Russell 15, Giovinazzi 16, and Latifi 17. Finishing P14 in the Alfa Tauri is going to be the rookie Yuki Tsunoda. It's going to be an okay season. It's a good season considering the people that are going to finish just ahead of him. You got your Alonsos, you got your Vettels, you got your Strolls, so finishing P14 in an Alfa Tauri, which is supposed to be, I mean, what would be a good season for him if he finishes 12th, 13th? So finishing 14th is still going to be solid. In 13th place, I don't care, I'm just going to say this, it's going to be Fernando Alonso finishing P13 for Alpine. I was going to say this even without the accident. I do hope that it doesn't affect him in any way, the accident that he had recently, but generally, I don't know why it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a flop return for Alonso. He's going to moan a lot, he's going to complain a lot, and he's going to leave again, is what I think. And Gasly will take his place in 2022, I think. So, Alonso P13. Now the fight for P11 and P12 is going to be pretty close, and it's going to be between the Aston Martin drivers, with Vettel just edging Lance Stroll. Stroll is just that sort of hit or miss driver. He gets this P3 or his P13. So he's going to have that sort of season again. Vettel, I can't say is really that much more consistent these days, but generally he is more consistent at getting points than Lance Stroll is. So Vettel is going to have an okay season, better than last year, but still it's not that great. I mean, it's not even top 10. So Vettel P11 and Stroll P12. Now we are into the top 10, and in P10 I'm going to pick Esteban Ocon for Alpine. He's going to be Alpine's saving grace this year, which says a lot, considering I think he's going to just have an okay season, nothing to write home about. But the fact that Alonso is going to be so far behind means that just this guy being okay and driving that car to its potential will mean he's going to come P10. In P9, I'm going to pick an overperformer. I'm going to pick Pierre Gasly for Alpha Tauri, considering his teammate Yuki Tsunoda is P14. Although he's a rookie, just the fact that Pierre Gasly is going to drive the wheels of that car this year. He's going to outperform that car so much. I expect he's going to be P9, and as I said, he's going to take Alonso's seat at Alpine in 2022. From talking about the overperformer to a potential underperformer, in P8, I'm picking Lando Norris of McLaren. I feel like this year, he's just going to get left behind a little bit with Ricciardo getting the bulk of the points and Lando just falling short of Sainz and Norris and these guys a few too many times will add up, and it will eventually lead to Lando falling behind to P8. P7 versus P6 is going to be a straight Ferrari battle. Sainz versus Leclerc. I feel like Sainz's relative inexperience with the team is going to cost him, so he's going to be P7. Leclerc is the definitive number one in the team. He's going to get P6. Now then, P3. Last year he came very close to losing it. This year I believe he will lose it. P3, I'm picking Valtteri Bottas of Mercedes. He's going to get beaten by Verstappen. I don't know if it's going to be his last season in Mercedes or Formula 1. I mean, he's going to get P3 this year is what I predict. But as long as he gets enough points for Mercedes to still keep that number one in constructors, I think he'll still keep his job for 2022. But if somehow Checo Perez can conjure up some magic, giving Red Bull enough points, which means Mercedes will drop to P2 in the constructors, he's gone the next day. Which of course means that in P2 is going to be Max Verstappen for Red Bull. With a few less reliability problems on that Red Bull car, I think he will successfully beat Valtteri Bottas to P2. He's going to come, as I said, he's going to come as close to Lewis as he's possibly come so far in his life. I don't think it's still going to be enough, which means 8x world champion Lewis Hamilton. This guy is going to beat Michael Schumacher's record, which is, I don't know how I feel about that, but he will do it. The guy is a robot. The guy is a machine. It feels like some autonomous racing car. This guy, the fact that the amount of mistakes he makes is so less, and the car is so OP that it's just a foregone conclusion. Lewis Hamilton, 8x world champion. Congratulations. And there you have it, my predictions for the 2021 Formula 1 season. I went very safe with Mercedes winning the World Championship Constructors and Lewis Hamilton winning the World Championship Driver. I was gonna go Verstappen, Red Bull, but I don't believe it. So why would I go? Although I've gone a bit controversial with the Alonso stuff and in the middle order and the lower back markers. So let me know what you think. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more. I can't wait for testing tomorrow and the season to start. Let's go. Jan Barbe.